Welcome. My name is Dr. Vance Ginn, an economist at the Center for Fiscal Policy at the Texas Public Policy Foundation. Today, we're going to take a tour on the USS Lexington, in which I give a presentation to a group of the Military Order of the World War's Youth Leadership Conference and talk to a group of top-notch high school students. There's about 60 of them, and teach them not only about the labor market in general, but the costs of the minimum wage. And it's an experiment that I look at in several different sessions, and it's important to not only notice how the group reacts in the beginning to whether or not we should have a minimum wage or whether or not we should raise the wage, but then to look at it at the end to see how the minimum wage game has influenced their thinking by really thinking like an economist, weighing your marginal cost and marginal benefits. And so as we take this tour today, I hope you enjoy the lecture and the experiment, and thank you for watching. Hopefully we can learn quite a bit today about the minimum wage, a little bit about capitalism, socialism, those sort of things. And I think that's what y'all been learning as well, right? So y'all got some background here. Let me start off with this though. By raise of hands, how many of you think that we should have a minimum wage? We've got quite a few people, right? I would say 3/4 of you think we should have a minimum wage. Does anybody know what the current minimum wage is? $7.25. That's right. You are good, man. Smart crowd. How many of you think we should raise the minimum wage? So, not as many, maybe a third, right? A third of you think we should raise it. What's been the talk lately? Correct, right? Raising it up to $15 an hour. And some are calling that what? Well, excessive, but what are they calling it? They're calling it a living wage, right? And so the question really is, do we need a $15 minimum wage? Do we need a minimum wage at all? I mean, these are some of the things that we need to be thinking about and could influence your careers, right? And so, like you said, my name is Dr. Vance Ginn. I'm an economist at the Texas Public Policy Foundation. We're a 501c3 nonprofit, nonpartisan think tank based in Austin, Texas. So basically a research center. We come up with a lot of interesting ideas that try to affect change at the state legislature by looking at free market approaches to bring about optimal outcomes for people, right? Helping improve people's prosperity and standard of living overall. We've got 10 different centers, work on healthcare and education. I mean, you kind of name it. We work in that area. I work specifically in the Center for Fiscal Policy, right? So I get to work with taxes, budgets, all that fun stuff. That's exciting stuff, right? Y'all aren't supposed to yell. Come on. It's fun to me. I get excited about it. But the minimum wage is something that we need to look at. And so I created this minimum wage experiment that I'd like for us to go through today. So just a few quick instructions, and then we can get started. All right? So some of you are going to be type A and type B workers. So you'll look at your sheet that's on your table. Type A workers, type B workers. Don't let type C, which are the employers, don't let them see your reservation wage. Try to keep them from seeing your sheet. All right? So we're going to play 3 sessions with this experiment. The first session, we're not going to have a minimum wage. Okay? We're just going to have negotiations take place between the employers and the workers and see what happens. Second session, we're going to impose the minimum wage and see what happens. And then the third session, we're going to try something else to see what the results are going to be. All right? So if you're type A and type B worker, please raise your hand. All right. So we've got quite a few type A and B workers. So what your job is, as your worker, is to do what? Work. That's simple enough. So you want to get a job. And so what you're going to do is go around to those who are employers, which if you're a type C employer, raise your hand. If you're type C. Yeah. So we got some over here. We got a couple over here. So you see them. You're going to go to them. They're going to raise their hand whenever I say go here in a little bit. And you'll go to them to negotiate a wage. You as a worker, what do you want to do? Exactly. You want to get the highest wage that you can. So keep that in mind. All right, get the highest wage you can, and do all whole numbers. All right, so $7, $8, $9 an hour, no $9.50 or anything like that. Do it in whole numbers, and negotiate the highest wage you can. Now, if you don't find a job, you'll be what? Unemployed. So if you're unemployed, I'll have an unemployment register up here where you'll put your name down and you'll receive unemployment benefits. And part of the unemployment benefit package is based on your reservation wage. So you'll notice as a worker, you have reservation wages. And basically what that means is what are you reserving your employment ability, your work, until you get to what wage level, right? That's your reservation wage. You're reserving your work until you get something above that reservation wage. So keep that in mind as you're negotiating. You've got to. That's the minimum amount that you can be hired at. So you want something above that. Okay. So we got that. Any questions so far? Okay. And negotiated wage can't be. So you can't accept a job and then break the contract. That's a contract. Okay. So once you find a job, go ahead and sit down, and then we can go with the next session. So type C workers. So this is something all of you workers need to understand too. For type C workers, the first 2 sessions, you can hire 2 workers as an employer. But if you don't hire any workers, what's your revenue going to be? 0. Why is it 0? You're not doing anything. You're not producing anything. That's how you generate revenue, right? Is the price of the good that you're selling times the quantity that you're producing. If you don't have any workers, you can't produce anything. So quantity is 0. So any price times 0 is what? 0. So you can't get any revenue. It's $20 in revenue if you hire 1 worker, and then $30 if you hire 2 workers. Okay, so keep that in mind. And then we'll look at the last session, how that's going to change a little bit. And so the goal for employers is to do what? Maximize profits. So if your major cost of running your business is the number of workers, what do you want to do? How do you want to minimize your cost? Huh? Maybe the number of workers, that's one way. Lower wages per worker is another way, right? So you want to negotiate the lowest wage, whereas the workers want to negotiate what? The highest wage. So you kind of already see how this negotiation is going to take place, okay? And so you can calculate what your profits are going to be. After the session's over with, what I'll do is I'll go through and I'll ask the employers, what are the wages that you paid each one of your workers? I'll put those in a spreadsheet, and we can calculate to see who has the highest profit, who has the highest wages, and there will be an incentive for those who can negotiate the highest wage and the highest profit.
I can provide strong skills.
What kind of skills do you have, man, that would help benefit my type of sometimes?
I get I'm
my office manager I have to know.
I believe that I can also provide good team working skills. I can work with my coworkers, make them a better person, and try to get the company running as successful as it can, becoming really successful basically.
I work fast and efficient for $13.
Have I told you how lovely you look today?
Okay, I have a wonderful personality. Just by talking to you, I know.
Put your name down. We have been together this whole week, my dear.
I know.
You and I have a bond.
That doesn't matter right now.
This does matter right
How much
now.
fun are we willing to work for?
13.
I'll work for 12 and I have a college education.
I have
And I'm a
college
skilled
education
worker.
too.
I'm a skilled worker.
I went to Yale for free.
My name is Trevor. I'm a single father. I have 6 kids, and I'm really struggling to survive right now.
Okay. Don't you get
What you make me do
I have 7 kids.
and give me $8 an hour.
Yes.
Bam!
All right. All right, so now what we're going to do is go around and ask each one of the employers by your ID number. At the top right, you'll see your ID number. I'm going to go through each one, and you're going to yell out what your wages are for both of your workers. All right? So C1, what wages did you pay?
8 and 11.
8 and 11. All right, so your profit then is $11. All right, so that's pretty good. So let's see what else we have. 2C.
$7 and $6.
$7 and $6. So $17 in profit. Okay, so that's the highest so far. 3C, 10 and 14. Big payer over here. Watch out. So $6 in profit. 4C.
We got 10 and 10.
10 and 10. All right, so $10 in profit. 5C. 10 and 10. So you also have $10 in profit. 6C.
6 and 6.
6 and 6. All right. So $18 profit. Watch out. Big payer. Big profit maker over here. C 7.
8 and 8.
8 and 8. $14 in profit. 8C.
8 and 8.
All right, another 8 and 8. 9C. And that was $14 profit as well. 9C. 13 and 13. $4 profit. 10C.
13.
13. $4 there. Same one, huh? 11C. All right. 3 in a row. 12C.
6 and 13.
6 and 13. It's a big discrepancy between the two. 13C. 7 and 13. $10 profit. 14C. 10 and 10. And 15C.
12 and 6.
12 and 6. All right. So what we find then after we look at these is that the highest wage goes to, what was it? 6 and 6. Well, those are the low. That's the highest profit. But the highest wage goes to $14 an hour. Who had $14 an hour?
Right here.
Right? Oh, right there. All right. Here. Grab. Here's your incentive. Oh. Some candy. There you go. So good job. Give a run at. Give it. And so the highest profit was 2C.
No.
18. Where? Oh, 18. Oh, sorry. Yeah, there you go. So 6C. Is that 6? Yes. Yep. Who had 6? You were 6C. All right. Give a round of applause. All right. So in this first round, did we have a minimum wage? No minimum wage. It was still based on your reservation wage as a worker, okay? But look, the average wage here is $9.83, and there are 10 workers who are unemployed. Those 10 workers who are unemployed, their reservation wage was $12.50, right? The other reservation wage for the type B workers was $5.50. So you notice the higher the reservation wage, the more of them are going to be unemployed, right? Because now they have to demand a higher wage, and if the employer isn't willing to give them that higher wage and reduce their profit, then they're not going to be employable, okay? But the problem is, right, is $9.83 an hour, that's about $18,000 a year. Can someone working 40 hours a week, making $9.83 a year, or an hour, and $18,000 a year, can they afford to put food on their tables for a family? Maybe. Can they pay for their other costs of living? Maybe not, right? And so those of you who are getting paid pretty low and the average only being $9.83, what do you want? You want more money, right? You want a higher wage. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to be the benevolent government. Okay? Stay with me for a second. All right? Benevolent government. I'm going to come in and impose a minimum wage of $15 an hour. $15 an hour is about $30,000 a year. Okay? That should be closer to something that can put food on the table, pay for your bills, pay for rent, and these other things to make sure that you're not living in poverty. Okay? So I want to help you all out by imposing a minimum wage. So now what we'll do is we'll move to the second session, session 2, and work in the first round, round 1, and do the same thing. But now, what can you not be paid below? $15 an hour, the minimum wage. All right? So look at your reservation wages as workers, and keep this in mind as an employer as you're calculating your profit, and then we'll do the same thing again. All right? So let the negotiations begin.
Take it or leave it. All right, correction. I can't do that. Take it or leave it. I can't do it. I took it.
Hey, are you an employee?
I'm an employee. Sir, employed. Are you an employer?
He's employed?
Yeah, I hired him.
He's already paid. Oh, my God. Michael, are you an employee?
My firm is full.
Are you an employer? Yes.
Somebody?
So wait, do we have to rank
Can I get a raise?
No, you really shouldn't.
Let me tell you, do you know how the Irish worked during the Great Depression? That's me on a daily basis. Investment banking, I'll $15 an hour. That's what I'll work 18 hours a day if I need to. I'll work as hard as you can, overtime, overtime. You have my best.
Haven't sold out. So.
I'm sorry, Laura.
I'll just go get on Medicare.
Okay.
So do I still
A little bit different this time, right? What happened as a worker? So some people got hired, some people got turned down, right? And so when I looked at the unemployment register, the first round we had 10. And they were all those who had a high reservation wage of $12.50. This time around, there are 20, right? So the number of people who are unemployed has doubled, okay? And when you look at the reservation wages, 8 of those are the lower reservation wage of $5.50, and then 12 of those are the higher reservation wage of $12.50. Did I say $12.50? $5.50 and $12.50, okay? So 20 people are unemployed. But check this out. The average wage, which will come out in a minute, we need to see what the average wage is to see how much these people are actually getting paid. So let's go through the employers again, okay? So C1. What was that? 15. Just one? Yes. All right. C2? 15. All right. 3? 3?
15.
2 of them? Yeah. 4?
I also did 215.
Okay.
Which was really stupid.
So $0 profit there. 5C? 17. So you have $3 profit. 6C? 15. 0. So $5 profit. 7C? 8C?
I hired 2.
Okay. 9C? 15 and 15. All right. 10C? 11? 12? 19?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. 19, $1 profit. 13C? What? All right. 14C? 15 and 15. And then 15C? 16 and 16. Oh, so you made a loss. So your business shut down, right? You make a loss, your business shut down. So now what we can look at is first the profits. The maximum that you can get is $5. So several of you did that, okay? But the highest wage, the person that negotiated the highest wage was for $19 an hour. So who had $19 an hour? Over here. There you go. Give her a hand. All right. There you go. So now check this out. The average wage was what, $9.88 in the first round with no minimum wage. What was the whole point about raising the minimum wage? What did you want to do?
Get more money. To help more people.
To help more people by raising their wage, right? Giving them a wage that they can pay for their cost of living. Well, average wage now is $15.35, right? Like $5.50 more than it was before. So what's that all about, right? We have a higher wage, but now what happened? Not enough jobs. There are more people that are unemployed. So if you're unemployed, how much are you making? Zero. Or you can have your reservation wage, which the reservation wage could be unemployment benefits. But even if you didn't have unemployment benefits, what else could you have on the side to live off of? Huh? You could have a side job. Maybe it's paid underneath the table. You could do that as the wage went up. People do that. What else could you have? Investment, savings, right? You could have savings on the side that you can live on for a while to keep you going. And that's part of the reservation wage, all right? But the issue here now is what? So many people are unemployed. So the first round, there were very few. There were 10 people that were unemployed, but a lower average wage. Now there was a higher number of people unemployed with a higher wage. But if more people are unemployed, this is not a good thing for society, right? Many more people are upset. maybe they're depressed because they can't find a job. There are social ills that come along with being unemployed, along with slowing the growth of the overall economy, right? That's one of the major factors of growing the economy is capital accumulation and then employing people to work that capital. So now what we want to do, and in our last round, this session, so session 3, is we want to look at, who's the type C worker? You? Let me see that real quick. So we look at session 3 for type C worker on round 1. And keep in mind that now the revenue will rise, right? So if you hired zero workers, what's your revenue as an employer? 0. Good. If you hire 1 worker now, the revenue will be $30. If you hire 2 workers, the revenue is $55. 3 workers, $75. And if you hire 4 workers, your revenue is $95. All right? So the employers can now hire up to 4 workers, and there is no minimum wage. I know in here it says a minimum wage, but there's no minimum wage in this one, right? Because what happened with the minimum wage? Too many people were unemployed, and you want a job that makes some sort of wage. So me as the government coming in, I'm saying, all right, well, the minimum wage didn't do what it was supposed to do. We have too many people unemployed. So let's get rid of the minimum wage, and let's have an increasing revenue, and then we can talk afterwards about what the results are. All right, so let the negotiations begin.
After I learned that it was a typo, and it should have been 6, but you didn't take 6, so I have to go 7 now.
But if you had me
I
at
could have had a better profit if it was at 6.
you could have potentially kept the same profit if you had me at 15. So that way you have 1 normal worker, but then you could potentially, if you wanted to,
But then he's paying more money.
have.
Why would he do
No. Okay, maybe I'm a good worker. Maybe I earned it. But and then you can have another employee that makes less, so that way you can maintain that profit, but with one of your workers with a lower wage.
Then he's paying more.
Because there's no minimum wage now. Therefore, you can just choose what your coworkers can earn.
I mean, I think if you paid 6, it would have been better profit for the company, right? So you pay 6, we get a better overall profit for the company. We get a better profit. That normally means that you can get a raise over time. Thus having a company that is going up.
If you're looking at raises, what would you be thinking about per unit of time?
6. I'd go 6. I'd go 6 every hour.
You said you will work for $8 an hour. However, I do not know what level of skill you have. I do not know what
I'm pretty, okay?
You should probably hire. Okay,
Sometimes.
so you want to be a stewardess. Hey, for my aircraft, but you haven't done it before, I can pay you $6 an hour, and then we can increase your wage once you've worked with us for a long time.
I'm pretty, but I'm not stupid.
Okay, well, $7 an hour is about the base I can go. I can't go past that. I'm trying to make a profit. I own a company.
You're
That's what we do.
getting $55 if you hire both of us. He's getting paid $15. That makes no sense.
I have a son who says
You
skills.
have not. You're right. Go
No,
out
he does
and
not.
earn your $15 an hour. Go.
Be a good friend.
So let's get started with this last round here. What y'all think about this session? What was different about it? Everyone's employed? And it's difficult to find a job, right? Why is that? Because they're greedy? maybe that's the problem, right? So let's go through again each one of the employers, and then we can talk about it afterwards. So in this case, there are 0 unemployed. Okay, 0 unemployed. So let's go to our C1. What are the wages that C1 paid?
7, 9, and 13.
9 and 13 with a profit of $46. $46 profit now. 2C. 7 and 8. $53 profit. Speaking of greedy, right there, 50. Yeah. 3C. 15, 16.
17 and 50.
Wow. All right, big payer over here. $32 profit. But he's got 4 employees. 50? 15. Okay, yeah, I was about to say. yeah. 4C.
15, 7, 7, 7.
15, 7, 7. All right. Whoa, $59 profit. Nice. 5C. 10, 8, and 10. $47 profit. 6C.
10, 9, 8, 13.
13. $55 profit. 7C.
6, 8, 10, and 9.
10 and 9. So I have $62 profit. Nice. 8C. Wow, big payer over here. $16 profit. 9C.
13, 14, 13.
And 5? I don't think you can pay 5, but that'll be okay. $47 profit. 10C. Hold on. Keep it down for a second. What? 13 and 10? All right. Did $32 profit. 11C.
12, 10, and 9.
12, 10, and 9. $52 profit. 12C.
8, 13, 8, 13.
13. $53 profit. 13C.
15, 10, and 6.
10 and 6. $44 profit. 14C.
15, 15, 15.
All right. Across the board. 15. $35 profit. And then 15C. 15 and 8. All right. So everyone is employed. Okay. In fact, what do you notice? If they could, there's still. Yeah. What did you say? There's job openings, right? I mean, we have several firms here that we're not able to hire all 4 job openings, right? So that could be costly to each one of these firms, but it also shows that there's something different about this round. Okay. Check out the wage. The wage is $11.20, right? That's better than it was in the first round, whenever it was $9.88. It's not quite as high as $15 minimum wage, but what's better about this round? Yeah, everybody has a job. Everybody's employed. What might be the difference between these 2 rounds? So job openings. What'd you notice about the firm? Huh? There's more profits now, right? The profit is a lot higher. So speaking of profits, who had the $62 profit? Yeah. So give her a hand. And who had the $20 minimum wage or wage? Both of y'all did? Or one did? Okay. All right. There you go. All right. So those 2 were the winners of that round. Okay. But what about the revenue here in this 3rd round? What happened as you hired additional workers? What's that?
It increased as you hired more people.
Exactly. Right? So what might that indicate to you about these workers? More workers, more revenue, exactly. And why would the revenue be higher as you hire more workers? More production, huh? More people getting paid, more production. So maybe we can find another way to increase people's wages and have everyone employed or more people employed by increasing the level of productivity. Well, thank you for watching today. I hope you enjoyed the lecture and the experiment and just how great it is to see kids in action learning about economics through this minimum wage game and about the overall labor market itself. Well, you notice at the beginning, I asked them, how many of you think there should be a minimum wage? And a pretty good portion of them said that there should be. And then I asked them, okay, how many of you think we should raise the minimum wage? And there were a fewer number of them that said yes. But after the experiment, I asked them the same questions. How many of you think that there should be a minimum wage? And it went down to a much smaller number. Out of the 60, I believe about 10 of them raised their hand. And then how many of them think that we should raise the minimum wage? Only a handful. And so this starts to get them, at least in the process, of thinking like an economist and thinking about the cost and benefits of particular government policies and how they might influence individual behavior. And the minimum wage tends to be very costly, especially for those that the government is trying to help. So it really, if you want to increase wages and have more job creation, what you really want to look at is how does an individual increase their productivity to be able to demand a higher wage in the marketplace. And that's really what this game is here to explain and to provide more information about how we can move forward as a society and helping everyone benefit to the greatest of our ability. Thank you for watching and have a great day.